شبابا قد أنابا وإلى الله استجابا.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. عباد الله, today's khutbah is about something very, very important, about Allah. And, we can learn from this and also teach our children regarding it. And it's one of the subjects that is very, very difficult to understand. But inshallah, I'm going to try to throw as much light upon it as possible. Now, we all know, about Allah, that our deen of Islam, it consists of 5 pillars. We're not so much worried about that because, everyone knows this and they can rattle it off by heart. But there's another issue about Allah, and that is what is known as Arkan al-Iman. Not Arkan al-Islam, but Arkan al-Iman. And this consists of 6 points, about Allah. Many of us don't know this. And we are going to talk today about one of those points. Now, believe for a Muslim, if he don't believe in one of those 6 points, he is classed as outside the fold of Islam. So that's why it's very, very important. It's not like Arkan al-Iman. And today we're going to speak about something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring to light during the month of Ramadan, sometime during the course of it. We're going to speak about one of those facets, and that is Qadr, Qada al-Qadr, the divine decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I ask you to sit back and just think about it, because there's a lot to learn about it, about Allah. Now, all praise is due to Allah, who created all things and ordered them in due proportion. All the affairs are managed according to His wisdom, to His hikmah. To Him belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and there's no support without Him. Ibad Allah, I ask you to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla and to have sound belief in Him and to believe in His qadr, in His destiny. To believe in His might and His will, as it is a pillar of Iman, a pillar of faith, without which our belief is incomplete. For us to have a correct belief in this qadr, in this destiny, the following 4 pillars must be fulfilled, ibad Allah. And that's why I ask you to sit back and listen and ask yourself. Now, the first is to believe Allah has full knowledge of and is witness over everything. Nothing has ever happened, is happening, or will happen in the heavens or on the earth except Allah has complete knowledge of it. Nothing is hidden from Him, whether it is vast, whether it is big, or whether it is small. He tells us in Surah Al-An'am, with Him are the keys of the unseen, and none knows them but Him. He knows what is on the land and in the sea, and not a leaf falls, but He knows it. No grain is there within the darkness of the earth, and no moist or dry thing, but it is written in a clear record, in a clear book. We have from Abdullah radiallahu anhu, where our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the keys of the unseen are 5. Verily with Allah is the knowledge of the hour. He sends down the rain and knows what is in the wombs. No soul knows what it will earn tomorrow or in what land it will die. Verily with Allah, He is all knower, He is all aware. The second issue is, ibadallah, is to believe Allah inscribed the destiny of everything in His preserved tablet, which is guarded by angels until the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Subhanallah. That we are going to sit here today has already been prescribed on us, ibadallah. That I'm going to talk here today has already been prescribed in this tablet. Everything that has or is or will happen in the heavens or on the earth was written 50,000 years before its creation. 50,000 years before its creation, Allah tells us in Surah Al-Hajj, know you not that Allah knows what is in the heavens and the earth? Verily it is in the book, and that is easy for Him. Our Prophet ﷺ, he said, the first thing that Allah created was the qalam, the pen. Then He ordered the pen to write, and the pen asked Him back, Ya Allah, what shall I write? And then Allah said, write down everything that will happen until the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Until the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Now when a fetus, ibadallah, when a fetus attains 4 months of age in the mother's womb, Allah sends down an angel to write down 4 matters on that little baby, unborn baby in that mother's womb. It writes down its provision, its lifespan, its amount of good or evil deeds, and whether it will be wretched or blessed. Now this wretched or blessed means whether it will be for Jannah or whether it will be for Nar. Think about Allah. As we are sitting here, our places has also been written either in Jannah or in Nar already. So what is ordained for us will definitely befall us, and what is not ordained for us will not befall us. Allah also decrees the destiny of everyone while still in the mother's womb. From Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anh, the Prophet ﷺ, the truthful, said, a human being's creation is put together in its mother's womb in 40 days. Then he becomes a clot of thick blood for a same amount of period, and then a piece of flesh for a similar amount of period. And an angel is sent down to write down 4 things: his deeds, his livelihood, his date of death, and whether he will be blessed or wretched in the akhirah. The soul is then breathed into it, so a man amongst you, he may do good deeds till there is only a cubit between him and Jannah. And then what was written for him decides his fate. And he starts doing the evil deeds, characteristic of the people of Nar, and he ends up in the Nar. Similarly, a man amongst you may do evil deeds till there is only a cubit between him and Nar, and then what was written for him decides his fate, and he starts doing deeds characteristics of the people of Jannah, and he ends up in Jannah. Another hadith states that the man who did the deeds of the people of Jannah and ended up in Nar only did those deeds. Why? Because his intention was to show off. He was not insincere, doing it purely for Allah's sake, and that is why the end of his life was terrible. So what does this mean? It's what we are going to die on one day, ibadallah. So the records have dried up and the pen was lifted, and after writing humanity's destinies, and they started to become realized, as Allah tells us in Surah Al-Hadid, no disaster befalls on earth or in yourselves, but is inscribed in the book of decrees before we bring it into existence. Verily that is easy for Allah, so that you may not be sad over matters that you failed to get, nor rejoice because of what was given to you. Allah likes not the prideful boasters. Can the brothers just come forward, please? There's a lot of people just standing at the back there. Please, Jazakallah khairan. Remember, ibadullah, that no hardship, no affliction befalls us without Allah's knowledge. Whatever we experience is already recorded according to Allah's preordained plan. We are made to pass through these trials. Why? To train us for the great service that Allah wills to take from us. If we reach a success without experiencing hardships, weakness will stay in our character, and we will not be able to digest power, authority, or withstand the storms and the furies of falsehood. So I ask you to be satisfied. Be content with Allah's decree, even if it is against your wishes, as it can never be avoided. Satisfaction and fulfillment is to receive the decree with ease and admitting that all things come from Allah, as He has absolute ultimate command and power over everything. When we accept ibadallah and are satisfied, are content, we will be rewarded immensely in this life and also in the next. If we observe sabr, patience during hardships, Allah will guide our hearts, give us comfort, contentment, and ease the effect of hardships due to anticipating His rewards. On the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, we will find the rewards for our patience, for our sabr at a time when the rewards are desperately going to be needed. He tells us in Surah Az-Zumar, only the patient shall receive the rewards in full without any reckoning. Without any reckoning, ibadallah. From Abu Sa'id, some Ansari asked the Prophet ﷺ something and he gave them. They again asked him and he again gave them. They asked him again and again and he gave them again and until nothing was left. And then he said, if I had anything, I would not keep it away from you. Remember, whoever abstains, who stays away from asking others, Allah will make him satisfied and content. And whoever tries to make himself sufficient, Allah will make him self-sufficient. Whoever remains patient, Allah will make him patient. And there is no blessing better and greater than sabr. Hadith Sahih from Al-Bukhari. Just as Allah recorded the decree of all things, ibadallah, He also decreed on the past Laylatul Qadr. The past one, the one which is coming up now again during Ramadan. But on the past one, He decreed the events for the past year that is still going to happen until the night of Al-Qadr. Everything that will happen during this year and which is still about to year, Allah, that we now live in, and Allah tells us about this in Surah Ad-Dukhan. Therein on that night is made the apportioned every precise matter. Allahu Akbar. The third pillar, ibadallah, is to believe in the comprehensive will and infinite might of Allah Azza wa Jal. Also, whatever Allah wills shall certainly happen, and whatever He does not will shall never ever happen. So everything that ever happened, that is happening, or will happen in the heavens or on the earth, be it tiny or small or huge, is subject to Allah's will and under His might and sight. Allah wrote that this would happen, also the reasons leading to why it is going to happen. Very difficult to understand. Therefore, whoever does a good deed, do so according to Allah's will, and whoever commits a sin, commits it according to Allah's will, as He tells us in Surah Al-An'am. Allah sends astray whom He wills, and guides to the straight path, to the Siratul Mustaqim, whom He wills. Now let us see how Allah allows us to go astray. Firstly, He holds back the chance for seeing His signs from those who choose to remain ignorant. Those who choose to remain ignorant. Secondly, He keeps hidden pointers to reality, to the haqq, from those who are victims of prejudice. Even though they see signs in front of them, and let them stay involved, He let them stay involved in misunderstandings to move further and further away from the haqq. How many times don't we see this in our daily life? On the contrary, ibadallah, He guides the seekers after the haqq to the right path and gives them the chance to use their knowledge to discover the truth and to show them signs leading towards it. We daily see millions and millions of people before whose eyes many signs are spread in their own selves and in this universe. But like animals, they do not see or learn from these signs, ibadallah. You can do whatever you want to. Then there are the physicists, the chemists, the zoologists, the botanists, the biologists, and so on, ibadallah, who sees these signs as may enlighten their minds and their hearts with iman, but They don't seem to see these signs, ibadallah, that may enlighten their heart. They don't see these signs that lead them to the truth, because they begin their studies already with prejudiced minds, merely for the sake of what? Of material gains and for this dunya. Not only this, every sign leads them further and further away, either to atheism, not to believe, to materialism, and to nature worship. In contrast to this, there are those who see these signs and these wonders, of the universe and the marvels of nature with open eyes and hearts, and find Allah's signs all around them, so much so, that you could look at the leaf of the tree and you can see that Allah is present. He's the one who created this leaf. Everything that happens only does so due to Allah's will. Even worldly matters like cooking the food, ibadallah, preparing the drinks and buying or selling or sleeping or walking, movement and rest are all done according to His will. Our Prophet ﷺ, he said, everything is decreed by Allah, even incapacity and capability. Even incapacity and capability. The fourth pillar, ibadallah, is to believe Allah is the creator and the controller of all things. That He allows all matters towards that which they were created for. He is the creator of all means and connects each mean to its result. He teaches and guides us to these means to reach our goals as a sign of proof of His blessings and His favors in accordance with His wisdom and mercy, as He tells us in Surah Al-Waqiyah, a beautiful ayah. Ibadallah, I want you to sit back and listen. The ayah says, tell me about the semen you emit. Is it you who created, or are we the creator? We have decreed death to all and are not unable to change you and create you in forms you know not. You have already known the first creation. Why then do you not remember? He goes on and he asks, tell me the seed that you sow in the ground, do you make it grow, or are we the grower? If we willed, we could have crumbled it to dry pieces, and you would remain in wonder, saying, indeed, we are indeed al-mughramun. Nay, but we are deprived. Tell me, the water that you drink, do you bring it down from the clouds, or do we bring it down? If we willed, we could have made it salty and bitter, so why are you not thankful? Tell me the fire that you light. Do you produce the tree, or are we the producer of the tree, the wood to make the fire burn? We made it as a reminder and a provision for the traveler, so glorify the name of your Rabb, the Most Great. Allahu Akbar. All our actions, ibadallah, all our amal results from two matters. The first is our determination to do it, without which any action can and will never ever happen. And the second is our ability to carry it out according to the ability Allah allows us. He gave us also as to what Allah guided us to of the means to carry out such an amal, such an action. So if we do not have the ability, ibadallah, or is unaware of the means leading to the results we need, or does not have the determination to do it, then we will not carry out this or any other act. There is no doubt that Allah has taught us the knowledge of means and the results. He created in us intention, niyyah. He created in us determination and capability, all subject to His will. Ibadallah, I ask you once again to fear Allah Azza wa Jal and do righteous deeds. Do righteous deeds that He loves and accepts. Be careful, be cautious through your life, and believe that everything that happens, do so according to Allah's decree. Do not replace the hidayah, the guidance He guided you with, to disobedience, otherwise He will change your situation to misery and unhappiness. He tells us in Surah Al-Anfal, Allah will never change a grace He bestowed on a people until they change what is in their own selves. Verily Allah is the all-hearer, the all-knower. Just as our lives contain problems, ibadallah, contains afflictions and disasters, we also have great blessings and favors from Allah. He blessed our lives by giving us ease through times of grief and hardships, and protected us from other trials and tribulations which did not affect us. This life, ibadullah, is the house of hardship and ease, of sorrow and joy, of happiness and sadness, of laughter and weeping. Things change and the trials we face are always different. People are tested differently so the wise and successful can learn lessons and take advantage from them. Through these trials, ibadullah, the heedless become deceived and the doomed go further into destruction, as it tells us in Surah Al-Anbiya. كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون. Every soul will taste death, and we test you with evil and good as a trial, and to us you will be returned. It tells us in Surah Muhammad, we will surely test you until it is clear those among you who are for Allah's cause and the patient ones, and we will test your affairs. In Surah Al-Ankabut, it tells us, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. And we indeed tested those before them. And Allah will make surely those known who are true, and will surely make known those who are liars. It is so sad, ibadallah, so sad to see so many different types of people today who always seem to complain. They open up their mouths and they complain. They complain and cry about sickness, about poverty, no money, about hardships, being away from loved ones, about death, about relatives, or missing out on the riches of this dunya. They, ibadallah, they don't seem to have any iman, to have any faith and belief in Allah's true divine decree and His qadr. Complaining about Allah to His creatures and weeping about things we missed out on in this life is either a sign of weak iman, or of despair of Allah's rahmah, or something leading towards it. These are the characteristics of the worst of creatures, ibadallah, who harbor false thoughts about Allah, just as the Jahiliyyah people did in the days of Jahiliyyah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم إن الله غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ibadullah, just before going on with the second khutbah, there is still some spaces here and the brothers are standing very thick at the entrance there. Can you just move forward please so those brothers can come in? Jazakallah khairan. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as for those who believe in Allah, please realize the unimportance of this life and fully submit to Him in everything. He decreed and predestined, and you will see these people, you will see them having sabr, persevering and obedient at times of hardships and grateful at times of ease. They remember Allah at all times and know He is with them whenever they mention and remember Him. They know Allah will be exactly as they think of Him. We have in a hadith from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu where our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that Allah says, so what does this tell us? It's a hadith Qudsi straight from Allah Azza wa Jal. That Allah says, I live in the thought of my slave as he thinks I am. I am with him when he remembers me, and if he remembers me in his heart, I remember him in my heart. If he remembers me in a gathering, I remember him in a gathering better than that. If he draws near to me a handspan, I draw near to him an arm's length. And if he draws near to me an arm's length, I draw near to him a fathom's length. And if he comes to me walking, I go to him running. Hadith Sahih al-Bukhari. Ibadallah, realize that Allah tests us with good and evil to purify our sabr, to purify our iman, and to practice reliance and tawakkul. Also to see if we keep a good opinion of him so we can so that he can increase our rewards and rank in Jannah, and to show us in this life and in the next that we are worthy of being honored and being close to him in Jannah, inshallah. Our Prophet ﷺ said, how wonderful is the case of a believer. There is goodness for him in everything, and this is only not the case of anyone except for a believer. If prosperity attends him, then he shows thankfulness and gratitude, and that is good for him. And if adversity befalls him, he bears it with patience, and that is also good for him. Hadith Sahih Muslim. From Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, our Prophet ﷺ said, never does a believer, is he stricken with discomfort, an illness or anxiety, a grief or mental worry, or even the prick of a thorn, except that some of his sins are expiated for him as a result. Subhanallah, ibadullah. We just get pricked by a thorn and Allah takes some of our sayyat away. Our Prophet ﷺ said, the believing man or woman will continue to be afflicted with hardships in themselves, in their families and in their wealth until they meet Allah absolutely with no sins, ibadullah. From Anas, our Prophet said, if Allah wills good for his slave, he tries him in this world, but if he wills evil for him, then he does not hasten to punish him for his sins, but will delay him until he is called to account for on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, how many hardships carry blessings and mercy? And how many difficulties befall us? How many? Due to which we reach an exalted rank and become honorable in Allah's sight. He tells us in Surah Al-An'am, Inna Rabbaka Hakimun Alim. Indeed, your Rabb is all wise and all knowing. And in Surah Az-Zumar, Innama yuwaffa as-sabiruna ajrahum bighayri hisab. Indeed, the patient will be given their reward without limit. I ask you in conclusion for today, ibadallah, I ask you to fear Allah. May He have mercy on and protect all of us as we are sitting here today. If we have hope in Him, then we will become firm and steadfast. Avoid overburdening yourselves by doing too many optional deeds. Do only what you can continue to do always, ibadallah. By doing so, you will have a pleasant result that we will appreciate. Do not be deceived by your current good health. Do not be deceived by your current good health, by your money and your comforts, and don't be weakened by hardships and struggles. The way out is coming, and Allah's rahmah is ever near for the righteous. Remember, Allah's provision will never be attained except through obedience to Him. He tells us in Surah Al-Fatir, whatever Allah grants to people of mercy, none can withhold it. And whatever He withholds, none can release it thereafter. He is the exalted in might and the wise. We ask Allah Almighty for forgiveness, to grant us all the health and strength in going straight in all our decisions, to protect, to guide, and to provide us with all the good, yes, with all the halal sources of living, to complete all our shortcomings and bless and rank us among the most pious of Muslims, to increase our knowledge, our deeds, and sincerity in delivering the message of Allah. And may Allah also make all of this in a scale of good deeds on the day of judgment, when no money or children will be of any benefit, and only the saved are those who will meet Allah with a Muslim purified heart. Yes, I ask Allah to guide you and me, my dear brothers in Islam, to unite us on the truth, to forgive all the Muslims, the past, the present, and the future, the male and the female, the young and the old, the healthy and the sick. And may He gather us all in paradise, yes, in Jannatul Firdaus, to grant us His mercy in this world as well as in the year after. May Allah send His salat and salams upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, upon his family totally, and also upon all of his noble companions. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. وسلام على
شبابا قد أنابا وإلى الله استجابا إن من يرجو الثواب لا يبالي بالصعاب.